Hello, my name is Blanca Polo and I am an assistant professor of information and computer science. Well, in my ICS100 course, this is how we interact and collaborate. To the left here, we can see all the different things that students can do while they come into Laulima. The first thing and the most important one from my perspective is the email. I encourage my students to click on the email and ask other students questions. If they have no idea who they are dealing with, it's good to send email to everybody. Once one of them does it, then all of the students feel comfortable doing that, and that's really great because it allows them to collaborate the same way that they will interact when they are in the classroom. Another good tool that we have to our advantage here is that that UH went into Google Email. Google Email allows us to create and use the Google Docs. These are some documents, some of them individual, some of them done by teams, where my students actually collaborated and together they put together a product. Another way of collaboration here is Illuminate. Illuminate is showing right here, and this is my virtual office. Every day I change the date and I am here. Sometimes I put up these pictures, sometimes I put another picture. If it's Valentine's Day, then it's good to have a heart and things like that so students feel at ease. Another thing that it's a good thing in here is that within Google Docs, if you go into your email, to the left in here, you will see the chat and the video chat. And when students are collaborating within a team project, they can chat and they can talk at the same time that they are working together. So that is the best collaboration tool that I have found, and it's actually provided for free, via the Google Docs and Google at UH. Thank you. About the learning outcomes for ICS 100, they are listed right here in the syllabus. They are right here if the students scroll down, and I make a good point of them knowing what their student learning outcomes are. For them to know, I actually give them a quiz on the syllabus so that I make sure that they know what they are going to be learning and I know where they can find things and where they can find me as well. Okay, well, many of the things that they have to do in here are in conjunction with communication, not just communicating by speaking, but by actually via the internet, right? And to gather online resources, etc. One of the main things about ICS 100 is the teamwork, and it has to be done online. For that, let's take a look at our assignments. Now, here are some of the assignments. Some of them are team, right? The 4 and 2 are actually team assignments. And what happens is that the teams are put together by the instructor, me. Now, students always have to access their current, they always have access to their current grades. And this is important because it allows them to see how is that they are doing. Now, for example, in here, in the first team assignment, they can go on and they see all the requirements and they know that they are going to be paired with somebody that actually is just like them. So, the real smart ones are actually paired together, so the students know that they have been paired with other students with similar grades and capabilities. Now, the first team assignment actually takes place about a month after instruction. This process makes students more comfortable if they are smart, and it makes the ones that are a bit behind try harder because they know that others just like them are not going to be doing the work for them. And why do we know that? Well, because they have a team members rating. That means that not all the students are going to get the same grade. What happens is that after they do their work, they have to download this document, which is a team members rating. They have to put their name, and then they are going to rate their team members. Now, with this, it makes sure that everybody works because they know that they are going to be they are going to be judged by their performance. Thank you. Well, this is the homepage for ICS 100. As you can see, different things are different technologies are used and are glued together via Laulima. The first thing that we have in here is a YouTube video talking about cell phone security, which is related to the assignment that it's now open as cell phone security. Now, my announcements here are always as little as possible, only the ones that are relevant. My options are that they have to be shown from the time that the assignment or the quiz is open until they close, no more, because I don't want students to have this clutter and then just not pay attention to anything. In here we have, for example, cell phone security. These are the themes for the second group team assignment, but everything is archived. So this is when they came back to school after the spring break. Here are some other YouTube videos about primary and secondary storage. And if we scroll all the way down, that's the first teams group. And at the very end, we see how to use Google Docs. You see, discover new features in Google Docs and how those Google Docs work and how to share and all those things. I do not have to reinvent the wheel, but I just have to get all those technologies together, and for that, Laulima always is a good thing to do. Now, my recent assignments are listed here, and that's all there is. Another very good thing in here is a tentative timeline. This timeline allows the students to know where they are at any given time. As you can see, this is also a Google Doc that I used, but in here they can go, and if you look at the current week is highlighted. Usually the current week is highlighted so they know what they are going to be doing, we're going to be covering, which quizzes are going to be opening, and some related activities that they can do so that they stay on top of things. Those are right in here. So all of those things are accessible for students right from the left side of our Laulima webpage. Well, about the resources for and the course learning materials for this class, most of the resources are here under resources, right? And we have for each one of the chapters, we have a PowerPoint presentation. Now, in order for them to know when to go into each one of them, they have their tentative timeline. Okay, now when a different chapter is going to happen, they know that they have to start looking at it, that they start reading about that chapter. So another thing is that some students actually like to read, some students actually like to just look at the PowerPoints, and I have students that they just base their whole learning style in looking at PowerPoints. Now, one important thing is that we have to change this course every single year because technology goes very fast. So because I cannot be changing what's going on in the book, like in what we do or what I do is that I change the approach in the assignments. Okay, for example, the assignments for this particular semester are, the first one is this use of social media by employers. Everybody's in Facebook, they need to know how to take care of that. The second one is about the natural user interface, which is just like the Kinect or like the iPad with multi-touch. Then they go and do some research in the advantages and disadvantages of cloud versus local storage, and they end up for now with cell phone security. Now, all of these topics are topics that are going to take place. They are very important in their life, and they are probably not yet in their book, and they are actually not in their book yet because these things are so new that I have to address them, not just like that, but I can write some things in here and I can look for material that has been recently posted in YouTube. So in reality, all of the learning materials, they have the basis from the publisher, but I have to always complement everything with whatever is going on at recent times right now in technology. As we previously said, our learning materials begin in the resources. They are dosified by the tentative timeline, so they know what they are doing and at what time. But besides that, we have the publisher's website. The publisher's website is accessible via Laulima, so if the students just click here in Computing Concepts, they are going to get to the publisher's website. Now, in here, they can do things like learn about their key terms. They can actually try and have some quizzes, practice quizzes on each chapter before they take the actual quiz. This is actually really useful because they can try and try and try. And once they check their answers and they know that they are doing well, then they feel prepared to take the actual quiz. So that actually saves them some pain and suffering and trains them without me having to do it, and they can do it at their own time. Another thing is Illuminate. They can always come to my office, my virtual office. Some of them actually come in person, and that is perfectly fine. But if they cannot, Illuminate allows me to share with them and to help them do whatever they need to do. Illuminate has a feature that allows the student to share their desktop with me, so I can remotely manage their desktop. So if they don't know how to do something, I can tell them to give me access to their desktop, and then I can do it for them, and they can see how it's done. And then I can make sure that they do do it by undoing it and having them do it again. So this is actually great support when I have Illuminate available. Not just that, they have the email here. They can always get a hold of me, and I check email constantly, you know, in my smartphone. And that allows us to stay together. Even though we don't see each other, we actually do know each other, and we know our personalities just based on our email and the way that we communicate. So why Laulima represents innovation? Well, my students tend to think that they know that, you know, computer science, and they know computers just because they can browse the internet and because they can use their cell phones and because they can text and all those things. But I believe that Laulima actually shows them better. It transforms their lives because it is a melting pot. It is a gathering place for all these different technologies that I am putting here together, and transforms my funny techie students into technical, skillful, and ethical global thinkers. The thing that I want to mention is that I want to give you a quote from Thomas Freeman and Michael Mendelbaum from a book called That Used to Be Us, and it says the following. In 2005, Facebook didn't exist for most people. Twitter was still a sound. The cloud was something in the sky. 3G was a parking space. Applications were what you sent to college, and Skype was a typo. Well, Laulima has helped me show the students that the world changes so rapidly and that we are in charge of building global citizens, and they should be global citizens that are able to understand each other as well as their different cultures and different ways of thinking. Nowadays, more than ever, it is important that our students are comfortable with the use of technology and that they know how to use it with caution, because just as technology gives us many advantages in regards to communication, it also makes us vulnerable to attacks. And Laulima, helping me put all these technologies together, helps students see that. Thank you.